Unless you're some kind of Terminator doomsday machine, anyone that's ever ridden a bike can very soon tell you that the harder you ride, the more easily you will get out of breath. It kind of stands to reason. And when you are out of breath, it's very tempting to just ease back a bit so you can make your breathing just a little bit easier. But how many of us have been out with our cycling chums and we haven't been able to string two words together to form a coherent sentence, yet the people that we're riding with don't seem to be breathing hard at all? Now, the obvious answer for this is that your chum is considerably fitter than you are. Now, yes, that could well be the case, but there is also something else that could possibly be going on. Going back to absolute basics for a moment, any school kid could tell you that we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. And if I were to oversimplify things even further, our muscles use that oxygen more or less as fuel for the exercise that we do. So the harder we exercise, the more oxygen we need. So our heart rate and our breathing rate increases so that that oxygen can be delivered to those muscles via the bloodstream. Now, if you were to hold your breath, it would only be about 20 or 30 seconds before you felt like you needed to start breathing again. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that you felt this way because you were running out of oxygen. But strictly speaking, this isn't true. The reason you want to start breathing again is because carbon dioxide is building up in your body. Again, any school kid could tell you that too much carbon dioxide in your body is a very bad thing. You end up suffocating. But what may surprise you to know is that trace amounts of carbon dioxide is not just a good thing, it's actually vital for the efficiency of our breathing. To oversimplify things even further, the oxygen that we breathe in is delivered to our muscles via the hemoglobin in our blood. Now, the efficiency of that transfer works better when our blood is slightly acidic. And the thing that makes our blood slightly acidic is, yes, you've guessed it, carbon dioxide. Now, this probably explains a couple of very curious things that I personally have noticed. When I'm cycling along, if I were to hold my breath, my heart rate would actually go down. Now, you'd expect it to go up. Now, what might be happening here is that when I hold my breath, it's giving my body an opportunity to build up a little bit of that carbon dioxide, increasing my blood pH, and then allowing the oxygen in my blood to be liberated slightly more effectively. The other curious thing is what happens when somebody's having a panic attack. Usually a perfectly normal reaction to seeing me in lycra. As we all know, when somebody is having a panic attack, they're over breathing, and the thing you need to do is give them a paper bag to breathe into. Again, what's happening is that they are allowing the carbon dioxide in their body to build up, thus liberating more oxygen from every breath they take. In short, if you don't allow carbon dioxide to build up sufficiently in your body, you end up breathing uncontrollably in an attempt to get enough oxygen in. What that means in real terms for us cyclists is, yes, your chum who's chattering away completely relaxed by the side of you as you're gasping for air may well be fitter than you, but they might also have a higher tolerance to carbon dioxide. To get an idea of your own personal tolerance to carbon dioxide, you need to do a quick and simple test. Simply breathe in, breathe out, hold your nose, and then time yourself to see how long you can last before you need to take another breath. Now, this isn't going to be one of these maximal tests where you're kind of gasping for air at the end of it, nor is it going to be where you just start to feel slightly uncomfortable. It's got to be somewhere reasonably in the middle. Now, on average, you will be able to hold your breath for about 20 to 30 seconds before you need to breathe again. And what you're looking to do is increase that to about 40 seconds. The good news is that, like most things, our tolerance to carbon dioxide can be increased, and it's a little bit like exercise. You need to work on it and you need to develop it. This can be done fairly easily both on and off the bike. When you're not on the bike, try to breathe through your nose. Now, your nose is obviously much smaller than your mouth and less oxygen will be able to enter your body. So the slower you can breathe, the less oxygen that you're taking in, you're giving your body a bit of an opportunity to build up your tolerance to carbon dioxide. Also, when you go out cycling, try to breathe through your nose as much as you can. Now, there will come a point when you will be working so hard that you'll have no choice but to breathe through your mouth and take in more oxygen. And this is where your cycling computer comes in very handy, because you can set it to tell you your percentage of your maximum heart rate. So try and take a very careful note of where you stop breathing through your nose and when you start breathing through your mouth. And for me personally, that happens at about 70% of my maximum heart rate. So I try and hold on as long as I can breathing through my nose, although for me I do have the problem that my nose runs, so I kind of get the idea of what it's like to be waterboarded, or in my case, snotboarded. Using the maximum heart rate on your cycling computer is great because it's an empirical measurement. So for instance, you can go out on day one and try breathing through your nose until, say, 70% of your maximum. And then when you go out on day two, you can try holding on until 71 or 72%. Now, obviously, those numbers are going to be very personal to you. So what I would suggest is going out and just trying it first of all and seeing what numbers you come up with. Like all things in fitness, this is no quick fix. It's going to take time and a lot of effort to build up your tolerance to carbon dioxide. But once you've done it, your breathing will become more efficient and hopefully you won't get quite so out of breath when you're cycling. Thanks for watching.